Welcome back to the I Am series, where we explore and build the relationship with self via thought-filled presentations, including meditations, mantras, and more. This is episode 3, and the topic is play. You may notice a different backdrop, and you may have noticed that there's been quite a few weeks between episodes 2 and 3. It's been busy. And this is the 4th, 5th, 6th script I've written for this episode. Anyway, all the rest didn't seem right. And apparently I have a lot to say about play and having a playful attitude, and I tangented a lot. I did feel better about this challenge with keeping it simple when I read this quote from, who is this? Gordon Sturrock. Trying to define play is like trying to define love. You can't do it. It's far too big for that. And so then I had to put the script away, and then I got busy with a lot of unexpected things happening in life. And it was during this life stuff where I realized how truly important being playful is. I like to think that in general, I have a playful attitude. I know I have a nervous laugh, and I laugh at things that most people wouldn't, or at least not out loud. I don't know how many times I've been told, Lisa, that's not funny. And I'm like, yeah, and this is why I'm happier than you. So a recent example of this fun versus serious, happier than you, benefit of playful attitudes type thing is when my husband was loading up our mini excavator. This thing is hilarious. It looks like it can move dirt. Oh, actually, it moves dirt quite well, but it won't win any races. A mobility scooter could run laps around this thing. Anyway, husband guy is loading the excavator up onto the flatbed trailer, putting along. Now the trailer is being loaded is between where I am and the house. So I stopped a safe distance away so my husband can see me and see that I wasn't doing anything risky, wasn't in any danger, and patiently waited. Well, he's putting away and I'm standing patiently waiting as he puts along and visually seeing this mobility scooter doing laps multiple times around him as I wait. Anyway, as I wait, there's this one single squirt of muck that gets sprayed out from underneath the machine. One. All of that putting through the wet, mucky grass, and nothing. No squirt, no muck, no little splash, except for that one just then. And I swear it was in slow motion. But anyway, guess where it landed? That's right. All on me. It was like universe aimed it. Okay. I even had a witness who talked to me about it later and was like, what? So I looked down at myself and I started laughing. Really, no splashing, no squirting, no mud splattering, except that one. And it all got on me. I'm pretty sure every drop. Did I mention I was dressed and ready to go out? And then as I'm going back to the house, half laughing, half pouting, and definitely shaking my head in disbelief, I slip in some muck and fall. I didn't get hurt, but I did get more mucky. And I laughed. And I was thankful. At least I was already dirty and not in fresh clothes when I slipped in the grass. So I go into the house, I change, come out still laughing and shaking my head and really. And then I laughed about it with husband guy and the witness. And then I continued on with my day. And occasionally I'd recall what happened and I'd laugh to myself. There may have been people thinking that I was a little bit crazy. They may be a little bit right. But now imagine if I had gotten mad. What if I had not had this playful attitude but gotten upset instead? How would it have been? How would it affected my husband and his mood if I had had an angry hissy fit? I'll tell you what, you wouldn't have married me if I was that kind of person. And how would it affected the mood of the witness and me and my day and everybody I interacted with? Like a totally different scenario. Yeah. Even preparing for this episode, I was getting upset with myself. I was working so hard on it, and it felt I was going nowhere fast. Oh, what, like our excavator? I was like, arg, I am working so hard on this. Why isn't it working? And as soon as I noticed this self-talk, which did take a while, I switched it up and I said to self, let's play with this. Boom, a total shift. I didn't get the script written that day or fix my audio issues, which I hope I have now with a new mic. But I was no longer grouchy about it. And I was left with a lingering curiosity, which stayed with me throughout the day. And I can't say I would have accomplished anything faster if I had stayed working on it. I may have accomplished becoming more miserable and upset. I may have even have quit by now. Try it. Think of something you're working on, a project, an idea, whatever. Sit in this working on it mindset. Now, think about the same project, idea, and think about playing around with it. Feels different, doesn't it? It actually uses different pathways to approach it in this way. This is the real secret of life, to be completely engaged with what you are doing in the here and now, said Alan Watts. And instead of calling it work, realize it's play. With this, it opens up to creativity versus a set solution, a set way of doing things. And speaking of thinking, brainwaves, and play, I want to talk to you about crawling. Crawling is the most excellent for mind, body, and spirit. Unless it causes pain, don't do it, right? Anyway, crawling, the lift, rotate, drop on your shoulders and hips loosens up, see, these joints, and it helps your hand-eye coordination. Being on all fours helps straighten out your back from a slouching posture, and also being on all fours and this crawling action helps to strengthen your core and your abs. Best ab workout ever, belly laughing. Seriously, like especially like that full on belly laugh where you like hurt afterwards. There's no better ab workout. And when you won't avoid, like scrunches or sit-ups. Anyway, back to crawling. With crawling, muscles are used that generally aren't used in adult daily life. They get flexed, strengthened, stretched, and this cross-body communication and coordination between both sides of the body creates and strengthens the brain pathways between the sides of the brain too. This development and strengthening of these pathways are not only proven to help physically, but also emotionally, helping with problem solving and coping with stress. These brain pathways are more open to being both creative and practical in their approaches and solutions. So this coordination and cooperation that we do with the outsides of our body creates coordination and cooperation inside. Two, this helps the brain function more fully during times of stress. Now, you can't control the stressors that happen, but you can control how you react to them. If someone is already stressed and ready to break, and something else comes along, that person is more likely to have a really rough go of handling things. But if you practice being playful and already have ease in your life or more ease in your life, thanks to this playfulness, when stress comes along, not only are you programmed to handle things in a more playful way, but the stresses don't pile up the same. Let's see here. Dr. Stuart Brown, MD, said, "Those who play rarely become brittle in the face of stress or lose the healing capacity for humor." So basically, those with a playful attitude handle stress with more ease than those who are not playful. And it's been busy around here, to say the least. And if I hadn't been so playful in times of ease when there wasn't so much stress, even practicing mindfully during times of stress, I'm sure I'd be a mess. And then my mess would have rippled out to everyone around me. In dialectic behavioral thinking or therapy, they encourage you to practice the tools they give you during times of calm. And I'd like to encourage you to do this with play and being playful and having a playful attitude. And I'm not talking about skirting responsibilities and creating more hardship for yourself. What I'm talking about is tweaking how we approach things that we already do, we need to do for better quality of life. Cooking, for example, we all got to eat. We all need to do it. But have you noticed that those who approach cooking with a playful attitude enjoy cooking? And their food tastes better too. Like the person who pretends they're hosting a cooking show and, talking about everything that they're doing as they're doing it will have significantly more fun if they're pretending to do this, and likely create something much yummier just because this creativity is triggered, and especially more than the person who is preparing the food and being resentful about it and having to cook and just gonna do this and get it over with. 9 times out of 10, I can taste the difference in my own cooking and baking, depending on how I felt when I approached it. Now, 2, please know It is not my aim to change you, but to give you tools, thoughts, etc., to change yourself if you so choose. And you being here, watching the I Am series, tells me you so choose. Or at least you're open to ideas. Take the gold. So, practicing playing wonder in times of during times of calm, or any time really, helps to develop and strengthen brain pathways, like with the crawling. Brain pathways, like physical pathways, get wider and stronger with use. And with this, the brain is more likely to use these paths during times of panic and stress. Think of a forest, and there's paths all over. There are ones that you're familiar with, which are wide with use. These paths are clear, well-worn, well-defined. You can navigate them easily. You know the landmarks, and you know what? You could probably even navigate it blindfolded. And then there's those paths that are barely used, which are hard to see, overgrown. And some of these overgrown ones, they become overgrown from lack of use. So they just stop being used. They can't see them anymore. And then there's others that are just new and just developed and not traveled on as much. So not as wide and open and able to see unless you're mindfully looking for it. So during times of panic, when the brain needs to run, it uses the pathways which are the widest, strongest, most easily seen and accessed on a regular basis. Practicing mindfulness or playfulness and noticing wonder widens the paths for these brain pathways in times of stress, so you cope with it in a more healthy way. Not only does play and playful attitude help during times of stress, they help during our daily lives. Cortisol is a hormone, a chemical, that is created in the body during times of stress. It creates pain, inflammation, depression, and a whole host of issues, including, but not limited to, wrinkles. Yes, cortisol apparently attacks and breaks down the elastin and collagen in the skin. And play, on the other hand, creates happy hormones that combat inflammation, depression, pain, and help support collagen and elastin for healthier skin. You notice when you're stressed out, you break out hormones. And skin is our largest organ too. So isn't that it? Anyway, I'm going to tangent. Stop. Play helps the mind and body be healthy, period. There are so many instances where I can think of two people who are the same chronological age, but are vastly different in aging. It is said play and playfulness may be the elixirs of youth. Not only does the lack of cortisol not attacking your skin, oh, that sounded awkward, but that was really awkward. This is my good script. Anyway, seniors who are reintroduced to play and practice play daily are healthier and happier. Their brains are more active and their bodies more strong and subtle than those who don't play. Never leave the playground.com. Check it out. It's a website dedicated to seniors for improving their lives using play. I've seen the founder, Stephen Jepson, on a show on Gaia.com. I can't remember which show, but anyway, he was talking about improving attention and coordination and playful youthfulness with activities like picking up marbles with your toes and putting them in cups and bowls. And he talks about how seniors' minds become more active by engaging in these activities. The playfulness and the silliness and the joy of life returns. His approach to play in life has brought improvement to many, has improved the quality of life of so many seniors. And I bet people who aren't quite seniors too. I imagine picking up marbles with your toes and dropping them in bowls. How silly. How awesome. Yet probably pretty challenging when you first try it. Yeah, forget imagining it. Just try it. If you got marbles, clean toes, go for it. Or geez, maybe even like pick up laundry or other things up off the ground with your toes and then into your hands. Old mom trick. I agree with this quote from George Bernard Shaw. We don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. And what does all this have to do with I am? Well, being more playful in wonder. Does it not connect you with what you enjoy? Does it not connect you more with self, who you are, what you like, what you dislike, what you want more of in your life? Does it not make you happier to be with yourself and enjoying your life despite some of the hardships and difficult circumstances that may arise? Like I say to my kids, you have to be with you 24/7, 365. May as well be somebody you like being with. And being someone you like as you are, this affects your actions, your reactions, your inactions. It affects the whole self, the whole of I am. And it ripples out from you. Ripples. I am huge on this. This idea of how energy or ripples of energy ripple out from each of us and affects everything and everything and everyone around us. This idea about how we feel about ourselves and how it affects us and all we do or we don't do. And then it goes out to everybody we touch, everything we touch, and influences what they create. Even those imprints we leave behind, like art, while you're feeling in beauty or even upset, versus damaging property, right? Many of you may know about the pebble in the pond parable. For those of you who don't, and even those of you who do, here's my twist on it. Imagine you are a rock being cast into a body of water. The impact of you breaking the surface of the water dictates the ripples you create. Who you are, what you are made of, how you arrived at the water, and even the water itself are all factors to what ripples are created. Ripples are often on the surface of the water. They're stronger, more visible, and pronounced the closer they get to the impact site. And some of them get far away, and they seem to dissipate to nothing. Other ripples, they hit nearby objects, and then the ripples bounce back and towards the original source, and sometimes even surpass the original source. And sometimes the water is so turbulent, you can't even see the ripples that are created by the pebble. And some of it, much of it, happens below the surface. Now imagine, if you will, that you are a pebble and you are tossed up into the air in a great arc, and you're falling with grace and ease, falling. And then you break the surface of the water of a calm lake, sending ripples sparkling across its gleaming surface. After you break the surface of the water, you sink down, 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 down. And as you fall, you bump an aquatic leaf, which causes the plant to dance. A nearby fish sees this and thinks this movement may be a snack. So he goes to swim over. High above is an eagle, circling, looking for its meal. And its eye is caught by the movement of the fish. The eagle screeches and dives down at the fish. And a photographer along the shore of the lake hears the screech, looks up, and snap, just in time, captures the most magnificent photograph. The eagle's wings are stretched up, diving, ready to pump and swoop back up, just in time. Its talons just breaking the surface of the water, and the water is spraying up, capturing the midday sun just right, looking like sparkling fine diamonds. Now, imagine if that boulder had just bounced down a mountainside. Splash. Or a rock. Someone skipped across the lake. Loop, loop, loop. Multiple ripples. Like when I smiled and gave big blinks into a little girl that was sitting in a stroller on the ferry last weekend. She was looking mighty grumpy until I gave her the smile and big blinks, which made her smile. And her parents at the time looked a little stressed when we had this little exchange. And they went and they had a walk along around the ferry. And when I saw her later, she appeared calmer, happy. Her parents looked much more relaxed. And I'm not saying it was all me, but I'm pretty sure my smile and the big blinks were a factor. Big blinks. It's something my mom used to do. She'd look at you, smile, and then close her eyes real tight for a moment and open her eyes, and she's still smiling at you. And we thought this was a sign of affection. And I see you, and I see you seeing me. And my husband and my kids would do big blinks at each other. And I would do big blinks at kids who came into my child programs, just to break the ice and get comfortable with each other. And my husband and I have even interacted with animals using big blinks Well, ends up my mom had dry eyes. And the big blinks was just her trying to get relief from the dryness, moisturize her eyes. Oh, anyway, so as you can see, I did my homework from last episode about play. Did you? I hope you did. And you know what? If you didn't, that's okay. You can always start now. And oh, even the other homework, keep hugging yourself. Keep playing. Just because I'm not assigning it doesn't mean you have to stop. The more you do it, the more it sticks. So this episode or this episode's homework is going to be notice your ripples. So next episode, I will have a very special guest, the most lovely, the most gorgeous Elena the Greek. And we are going to be discussing further I am empowerments. And once again, I am Lisa, your hostess. And this is the I Am series. Oh my goodness, I hope the mic didn't pick up my tummy growl. It's lunchtime. And this is the I Am series. And we'll see you next time. I am Ripples.